Way back in January of 2017, Nintendo revealed that they were working on a brand new Fire Emblem game for the Switch. After 18 months of radio silence, an E3 trailer has been dropped, and it contains a heck of a lot of interesting details about the game we now know as Fire Emblem Three Houses. The trailer kicks off with a look at the game's map. The country, new to the Fire Emblem series, is called Fodlan, I guess? It seems to be divided into 3 main houses, hence the name. We're not going to speculate too much on the story for this one, but hey, there's a dragon and a goddess in this one. Oh my god, it's shocking. Yeah, it's pretty much a Fire Emblem game, so no need to worry about that. Once the trailer's gameplay kicks off, though, we start to see some interesting aspects in the mechanics. Here we see Edelgard, one of the main lords in the game. When she moves to attack, a bunch of options pop up, some of which are really interesting. Having attack and magic as separate options is a big change. In most Fire Emblem games, there's usually just one attack option letting you select between spells and weapons. Here they're broken out, maybe implying that you'll be able to learn discrete skills as you play rather than having things like healing attached to different weapons. We also see combat arts as an option. Last time we saw combat arts was in Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia. In that game, combat arts were special abilities that you could activate, but doing so would cause damage to the character somewhat. Unfortunately, the Three Houses trailer doesn't really show any combat arts in effect, so it's hard to say how the feature will play out, but it's interesting that it's there. Another interesting option is formation, which we will come back to in just a moment. Once Edelgard selects attack, we see some other interesting things. It seems that weapon durability is back, replacing the debuff system that was introduced in Fire Emblem Fates. There are also some interesting stats to look at. Most of them are pretty self-explanatory, like attack, critical chance, and chance to avoid. We also see endurance and resilience, which probably represents defense against physical and magical attacks. There's another stat labeled as AS, but what that indicates is currently unknown. It could be an ally support stat, but we really don't know right now. Once the combat starts, we get a surprising look at a band of soldiers fighting alongside Edelgard. In most Fire Emblem games, each hero essentially acts alone, but here it seems like heroes are flanked by no-name soldiers, creating much more of an active battle scene. These soldiers can be slightly controlled using the formation option as seen later in the trailer. The proper formation seems to actually yield a combat advantage. Outside of combat, it looks like we'll be able to explore certain areas in real time, kind of like a third-person adventure game. Byleth, for example, is exploring the castle. This was another feature that was hinted at in Shadows of Valentia. It basically only existed in caves, but here we're going to be exploring towns and castles, it looks like, interacting with the people that you meet along the way. Some of these people give you the option to increase your skills, for example, choosing to increase your sword or axe abilities. It kind of looks like the My Castle mode as seen in Fire Emblem Fates. Right now, Three Houses looks like a blending of the last 3 Fire Emblem games, Shadows of Valentia, Awakening, and Fates. With the release date way out in the spring of 2019, it'll probably be a while before we learn much more about the game. Until then, I'll just be here collecting orbs in Fire Emblem Heroes like a chump.